white of Great Britain, the black of New Zealand on the left. Bob Orchard, or rather his brother Philip Orchard, went out this morning, but McGuinn, who was taken over, did of course play against Australia, and indeed I'm told was his first choice. There is the goal kicker. Number 3 is Christian. On the right, doing the haka, is Henry Tatana. I've seen this haka being done in Auckland, all over the shop, and of course in particularly many grounds in England. I don't know they're as good as the days when the Chung Newton and Nippy Forresting Company used to do it here. They came from the West Coast, like Jack Williams has come from the West Coast, one of the managers. And the referee in the 2 previous tests, now doing his third, is Mr. D.S. Brown. Roy Christian on the left, Roger Millward on the right. Roger Millward wins the toss, so they change over, which means that Great Britain will be attacking the scoreboard end. And there's the captain, third occasion, Roger Millward. Bit of doubt about him earlier in the week, but very keen to stop the third, the hat-trick as it were, is kicked, or is selected to kick with the wind. And there he is, D.S. Brown. Pity Phil Orchard is out, but McGuinn we're looking forward to seeing. So 80 minutes of Rugby League, third test, the last time we're going to see the Kiwis this year. And off they go, straight to Derek Edwards, full-back. I'll give you some identification of the Great Britain team, and we welcome particularly New Zealand viewers who have had the chance to see all the test matches, and I've seen this final one. Tony Hampshire touching the ball for the first time, new loose forward. I think they use the wind. This is short one, partly obstruction, but advantage taken. Well taken by George Nichols, himself playing in this first test from Widnes. Chris Hesketh. The pattern of the first 2 tests was that Great Britain had 8 points up in the first half. In the first half, that's right. 11 points up in the first half of the second test. And Roy Christian said that's going to be changed out. We're going to get 8 points up. His tip, by the way, is a win for New Zealand by 10 points. Number 13, Tony Krulicic. Harrison. Irvin inside to Millward. Millward's got a break. The Whittaker's watching him. It's a long one to Atkinson, not a good pass. But that was the first break of the match. Roger Millward, captain of Great Britain. And with eyes on next year's World Cup, if it takes place, Millward, Kenny Sterling, his father I knew so well when he played under me as a manager some years ago. This boy has had a tremendous tour, great tackler. Robin Orchard, or Robert, whichever you want to call him. Tatana, the prop, the goal kicker. Good guitarist. New Zealand on the right. And Robert Orchard kicking, it's a good one. A very good one. Big John Atkinson. Atkinson, of course, the Leeds player. World Cup star. Played well in Australia and New Zealand, and then, like a lot of our players after the tour, it always happens. Players go off. Probably too much football. I hope it doesn't happen to the New Zealand boys. Gary Woolard. Tony Krulicic. Gary Smith. And the dummy half, James Fisher. Henry Tatana. John Greengrass. Not a bad game, considering the fact that there is really nothing other than pride and prestige to play for. Headingley. New Zealand. Tony Krulicic going last man in. Hampshire making a nice break. Going to look for support. First cap, this boy. Harrison from Hull. Tony Corellius, St Helens. Derek Edwards, Castleford. I know all, amongst the many letters I've had from New Zealand, they like to know clubs. We're half a break here if you can come off. Gary Nichols. George Nichols, rather. Kenny Loxton. Hooker, Tony Corellius. Great Britain on the attack. No score. 5 minutes gone, first half. Kenny Sterling to field, two Kennys. Kenny Sterling, Kenny Loxton, the two scrum halves. Quite a gathering of old Kiwis or old New Zealand players before the match around the dressing room. Quite a number of them who stayed over in England. Bert Cook I've been asked about. He played, of course, for Leeds. Getting the balls, Sterling. Britain attacking. Turn it inside to Jeans. 10 yards out. 10 yards out from the Kiwi line. This could be the move that could break it. Mike Harrison, ball still loose. The idea was all right, but it didn't come off, and it was the fourth tackle. Kenny Loxton was taken. No dummy there, Gary Smith. Fisher the hooker, shades of hookers from New Zealand like George Davison. It's a penalty to New Zealand, 4 feet up. The New Zealand team go to France on Monday. No doubt it'll be a very happy tour for them. What will happen in France remains to be seen, but here they've done very well before this match, having won 10 and lost 9 games. And at the moment scoring 316 points against 288 points. By no means an all-time record, anything like that, but I've always said, win 2 matches, let them be the 2 tests, and your tour's made, whether it be in New Zealand or in Britain or in Australia. It's a nice move. Edwards has slashed open. He's got Atkinson. If Atkinson takes it, he's in for the first try. A good move. Flashed away. After 7 minutes, well worked to move to John Atkinson on the left wing. Very good move indeed. Good football. Millward in it, and a good thought-out move. So the first try, 3 points to 0 for Great Britain. John Holmes will be the kicker, kicking in his first ever test match, and of course he got plenty of support from his Leeds fans because he plays for Leeds. No goal, so it remains at 3 points to 0. At least it's a bright start. Quite similar to what happened in the first test when Great Britain were 8 points up, and in the second test 11 points up, and still the loss. So we won't make it as a criterion at this moment. So with the score after 8 minutes, Great Britain 3, New Zealand 0. And the sun's shining on heading. Hampshaw, the loose forward. John Holmes. Pull back for Leeds. Oh, he plays centre too. 25-yard line, New Zealand, 25. Great Britain haven't got a coach really. Millward has taken over the job. Johnny Whiteley was offered it, but he didn't want to take it. Of course, many good coaches come from New Zealand and Australia. Scotty McClimate is one I remember so well. And of course, I have fond memories of the New Zealand team of the 39 period when the only match was played in Great Britain that day, played at Dewsbury. So it's the modern Kiwis. 3 points behind, but fighting to make this all-time 3 wins in Test series. Never been done. Ray Woolard. On one to Norris Brereton. Taken by Clive Sullivan. Edwards fullback. So 10 minutes gone. First half, Great Britain 3, New Zealand 0, and Great Britain on the left in the light jerseys. Kenny Sterling and James Fisher, the hooker. Emery Tatana. Oh, good. Well, Arthur stop on Dennis Williams. This is a good boy, Dennis Williams. Bob McQuinn playing his first test in this series. Kiwis looking a bit brighter now. Seems to take a little bit of time to settle if the 2 other tests are any criterion. Robin Orchard, strong boy. Team have been staying in Huddersfield where they've been doing the training. And of course, Huddersfield are known to have had New Zealanders like Peter Henderson in the past. Of course, from Wigan, quite a lot. Like Brian Norgren, Tony Hampshaw, Great Britain. Oh, good sidestep by Holmes, but it's advantage. And Sterling looking good here, turning side to Whittaker, who's got a very good try in the first test. John Holmes limping a bit. This is the Kiwis' chance. This is the position where they usually look pretty dangerous and pull out Triletic. Dennis Williams. Triletic going to use the strong man. Well, he's a knock-on and a bit of obstruction, but the referee has given a forward pass or a knock-on, whichever he wants. New Zealand taking the scrums, 5-4. Oh, it's opening there for Sterling. I thought he lost the ball. The opening was there. This is a chance. There must be a try here. Must be a try to John Greengrass. So 12 minutes gone. John Greengrass equals the score, 3-3. And somebody's just dropped on the field. Number 3, Roy Christian, to our right, has just flapped down. There he is. He just collapsed. No one was near him, and to the left, there's somebody else collapsed. I think it's possibly it's Woolard, possibly. No, not Woolard. I think it's Kenny Sterling. Certainly Tony Triletic. Well, that was quite dramatic because it is Kenny Sterling. Quite dramatic where they just dropped. Roy Christian just collapsed. And it's Bill O'Callaghan on the... Oh, no, it's Dennis Tobin. Bill O'Callaghan going to come on. he seems all right. It's most peculiar, that. But the guy, thank goodness, is all right. So Henry Tatana, the goal kicker for New Zealand, 46 goals so far this tour, taking his first shot at goal. He kicked 3 in the first test. 3-3 the score. And they don't like, the Leeds fans don't like their nice turf being disturbed. Have to adopt the thing that they have in Australia, the sand boys. Come on with the buckets of sand and they tee them up. Katana. It's a goal to put them in front, but it's no goal, so it doesn't. So 15 minutes gone, first half 3-3. At least a better start for the Kiwis. And in the first test, 8 behind, and in the second, 11 behind. New Zealand have beat Australia this year. Great Britain, if they beat France, then they could really be called the world champs. Fullback John Whittaker had a very good tour and is really a winger or a centre. Became very good at fullback. Across on that far stand behind is the cricket ground, where the New Zealand cricket team have often played. That will bring back memories to a lot of New Zealand cricketers. Hampshire and Loxton been moving. Extra man, John Holmes looking for his partner. Good tackle by Gary Woolard. Bit loose pass, but I think John Holmes has got it. Oh, Chris Esker, it's Chris Esker. Millward. David James, and a penalty against Robin Orchard for a stiff arm tackle, and a chance for John Holmes. Great Britain have got the wind behind them, so this is a kickable position for Holmes. John Holmes, second attempt, score 3-3. Holmes, number 4, left centre, first test. And first goal in a test match for John Holmes to make it Great Britain 5, New Zealand 3. In the first half here at Headingley. Bob Irving. Losing the ball. Gary Smith, the dummy half. Kenny Sterling, really dives down for the ball. Woolard working the move with Dennis Williams. Stand-off half. Youngster had his birthday on tour. Jimmy Fisher. Good kick. Good kick, it's not gone over. He's not out of much trouble yet, isn't Edwards, but he's doing well to get out of it. Bob Evans. Toured last in the series to Australia and New Zealand. Whittaker, a running full-back sometimes. Good tackle by Hesketh. Terrific. Well, halfway through the first half, 20 minutes gone, 20 to go. 5 points only, the goal by John Holmes, making the difference at this point of time, with New Zealand taking the scrums. Only just. Grelitich, Dennis Williams to Roy Christian, and Whittaker, the extra man. This is the danger point when Whittaker keeps coming up and taking the extra man, Roy Christian. 25-yard line. I don't know if Kenny Sterling is pushing up about. Neither team getting on top at the moment. Not a lot of ascendancy by either team. They're having spells of individual breakthrough, and it's a penalty to New Zealand. Go feet up. Tatana trying to kick, got to kick the goal, hoping to equalise the score with Henry Tatana, the leader of the choir with his group, and of course the goal kicker, and got a very good try in that Castleford Test match. It's 5-3 at this moment. 5-5 as he kicks it. There is no goal. Derek Edwards, right in the corner. Ronnie McGregor, the chairman of the Rugby League in New Zealand, will be very happy to have been on this tour. He came for the World Cup, himself a great centre when he played. A very good centre he was, in a very fine side that toured Great Britain. He would have enjoyed seeing the triumphs of the Kiwis on this trip. Whittaker, a running full-back. Great Britain 5, New Zealand 3, just inside the Great Britain half, in white of course as always, Kiwis in black and white, and just to the score, 17 and a half minutes to go to half time. Atkinson first try on the left wing, Greengrass equalised, John Holmes a penalty, and another penalty now, but Holmes won't be able to kick a goal. Well, he will, but he wouldn't get anything for it, too far away. Although Great Britain have the wind, quite a strong wind, and John Holmes playing in his first test on his home ground, so he should have the fans' support if nothing else. 5 points to 3, playing in the centre position. He can play both. Very nervous before the match. I was talking to him, he gets very nervous, but he's sound so far. Roger Millward hoping to stop the New Zealanders doing the all-time record of 3 tests on the trot. They've got 2 wins so far. George Nichols, one of the new caps from Widnes. David James from Wakefield. High tackle, the crowd saw it, but the referee saying nothing about it. Tony Hampshire, another new cap. from Halifax. David James, a bit of a chance of an extra man here. John Holmes has turned it inside, but it's not come off at all. The bat slipped inside, but he dropped it. Tatana, the prop forward for New Zealand, saved it. Kenny Sterling, that ubiquitous fellow that runs all over the shop, tackling people to his heart's content, not to their satisfaction always. Robin Orchard, early caution for a stiff arm. Tatana, another prop, the guitarist of the musical society of the Kiwis. Oh, right. Oh, we just collared him by the collar. A good one by Tony Krilitic. A bit of brunching at the moment. All after him. One of them got him. Mike Harrison somehow. From the right place, anyway, to stand up to this sort of stuff. Kiwis do a lot of tackling and they're very fit. Amshaw. One went one went the other, and Amshaw kept the ball and he got the treatment. And there's the front three. Tatana, Fisher and Orchard. Brother of Philip Orchard, the winger who is not in the side, withdrawn this morning. Graspinadin, this is a chance for Dennis Williams. This is it. We're going to say it's a chance until he dropped it up. Kenny Sterling, a bit knocked with that. He runs this fellow with the ball. He dives under everything. A right little furret when he gets the ball. Put it in, laddie, this. He's a very good scrum half. Worker. Never stops. And number 7 in the white is Kenny Loxton. It is from Huddersfield. New cap. Well, this passing is getting just a little bit haphazard. Derek Edwards coming up, knocked on. The Great Britain back, one or two small lads in them. Derek Edwards, Roger Millward, Kenny Loxton. And it's a penalty against Great Britain. And New Zealand are taking the penalties 4-2. And they've been in kickable position, which is often an important part. It's not what you get, but when you get it and how you get it. And in this case, it's Nuri Tatana. He's already been in trouble a bit for kicking up the famous Headingley turf. So he places it that way to get the distance. It's about 25, 35, it's about 39 yards out. Quite within his capabilities. 6:46 on tour, but that one is missed. In fact, it's 3 that is missed. But it was against the wind, remember. And that might tell some story in the second half. Great Britain 5, New Zealand 3. Morris Brereton on the left wing, taken by Sullivan, Clive Sullivan, joint leading try scorer in the league with 15. Well, held an extra man here. Dennis Williams is showing it to Bob McGuinn, who's replacing Orchard. Bob McGuinn playing his first test. New Zealand looking a bit good at this moment. Turning back inside. All kinds of 1 or 2 tackles. Henry Tatana right on the line. There's a lot of overlap here. If the passes are right, there should be some sort of trouble. He's stuck with it, got it away. Was he held? The referee says no and allows play to continue. It's a 4th tackle. John Greengrass. With Great Britain with only a couple of training sessions against the Kiwis who are training every day. Look at the hooker on the right. I know lots of people ask me about this rummaging. Sometimes I wish I could tell them. Tony Hampshire, the new cap, 25-yard line. Great Britain looking round to see where everybody is positioned, and Millwall is. Not a lot of kicking for touch in this match, and that couldn't really be called for touch. Bob McGuinn. Gary Smith, the two tall second row forwards, John Greengrass and Gary Smith, and knock on, are often in the picture in coming through on the burst. Oh, somebody injured here. Bob McGuinn on this side, on the halfway line, is getting attention. Halfway line, the score 5 points to Great Britain, 3 to New Zealand. 10 minutes to go. We've had 3 injuries, really not serious apparently. I hope that's not serious. Roy Christian fell down a short while ago. Frank Tobin, the witness trainer, walking off. Whether he's walking off with Bob McGuinn or just putting him back onto the wing, I don't know. But if he does go off, Dave Sorensen looks as if he's leading him off. Yes, he's taking him off. But he may not necessarily put on a sub immediately, because once the sub's on, he can't come on again. Is it a chance? Is it a chance? It's a chance. Is it not more than a chance? No try. It was... there's Clive Sullivan was going over, but the referee pulled it up. The senior of Mr. Senior of Bradford wagged his flag to stop it. 25-yard line. Great Britain, extra man. John Holmes is getting cornered. New Zealand without a player at this moment. And they're playing tactics. They're trying to get him right, because once the subs come on in test matches, they can't bring him back on again. Bob Irving is on his own, but he's going pretty well. Britain on the attack, leading the moment 5 points to 3. One try here would be a grateful gift. It wouldn't be a gift because the Kiwi give them nothing, but it would be a nice thought. And McGuinn has got a cut on his forehead, but he's getting attention. They're obviously trying to get him back on, and not bringing on their sub. There he's been attended to. New Zealand ball. The crowd beginning to boo the referee. They feel that some of the scrummaging infringements are a little bit evident. He can do that, by the way. I know he did it, but he can do it. All he has to do is to play the ball forward. He doesn't have to heel it back all the time. Pattern is, it can be done. Clive Sullivan, he's got to use the field now as Clive. He can run. It's a long one. Oh, it's a bad one. Oh, it's a chance for Dennis Williams. And I think Sullivan was attended to after it passed, because he's holding his face badly. Tried to cut out Holmes in that pass. John Whittaker. Sullivan obviously feeling some effect. Chris Hesketh. Millward. Holmes. Roy Christian recovered from his injury. Fisher, the hooker. John Greengrass. Ball still moved. And still all right for New Zealand. tackle force coming up. They might have a drop at goal. I don't know. No, they won't. On wrong foot for people. Try to get Kriličić. Scrum down. Bob McGuinn is now on the far side, ready to come on. The test judge said he can come on. He's supposed to get the referee's permission. And on this right wing, Clive Sullivan is worried about his jaw. It came after a tackle when he threw that long pass. His face, Dennis Wright. Dennis Wright was telling me that they were getting a television set in within the hospital, so Jack Bentley could watch this match. I don't know if they got one, but Dennis Wright is here. Fresh colleague, and it looks as if he's going to be all right. It was after the tie. When he threw that long ball, you remember me telling you, he cut out the centre, and I think one can speculate what might happen. I'm sure. 5 minutes to go, and Great Britain leading 5 points to 3. First half, of course. 40 minutes untouched yet, but once they get in the stride, it can be a third decider for either team. Decider in as much as Great Britain haven't yet won the test. New Zealand has taken the series, but they wanted to make it 3-all. Bob McGuinn. John Whittaker. A shy but not hesitant full-back. Roy Christian. Maurice Braden. Running well. Sullivan and Derek Edwards between them. Stopped him, but it's a dangerous position for Great Britain. The Kiwis on the attack. Robert Orchard using the weight. One more tackle from the 4 tackle. Dennis Williams. Still moving the ball about. Sterling, Whittaker. Whittaker running into the wide open space. And it's a 4th tackle. Must be. It is. Just to give you the scrums figures. 10 to Great Britain now, 8 to New Zealand. Remembering that Britain have got the wind. And the scrum there. Millward. Nice, even passing. Oh, good run by Edwards. Oh, that's twice. The chance has dropped by the inside patch. It's not coming up at all. Probably better to stick to the orthodox stuff to get the pass right. Although they are club mates from Leeds. Kenny Sterling, he's the ferreting lad that goes under. Gary Woolard, the only tourist not to have scored. Going to run out of play, and it's 25 yards restart. Sullivan's now limping, I notice. He has really been in the waters, Clive Sullivan and Hull. And he's the fastest man, I should think. Well, he and John Atkinson. The fastest. As wingers should be, of course. Fastest men you should have on the wing. David Jean of Wakefield had 1 or 2 runs like that. That's make a little progress on the short pass on the burst. George Nichols, witness. Now there should be something here. There's a chance for something here. We've got Edwards being caught, and a good tackle indeed by John Greengrass for a second row forward. So his legs are twice as long as Edwards, but he did it well. 25 yards line, somebody down. Probably John Greengrass who went down on that tackle. It's number 12, then it is Greengrass. Can't see the number of even the player, but I'm what they call speculating there. Well, just with only minutes to go to half-time, Great Britain, a try by Atkinson. There, 5-3. Try by Greengrass, the man who is injured at this moment. And Clive Sullivan on this side, attended by Dennis Wright. He seems to a knee or just a muscle. Thigh muscle, so the injury stakes on this lush green turf. 1 minute left to half-time. Well, that was kicked out. 25-yard line, and Kenny Loxton looking at the referee there, appealing for something. Don't get many appeals given in this game. Woolard, Great Britain in white, just 2 points in front, and they'll be against the wind in the second half. And Tatana hasn't kicked a goal. He's had 4 attempts. And Dennis Williams. It looks like Georgie Menz is a great stand-up half that used to come here with the New Zealand side. Bert Cook was a very good fullback who came from Rugby Union, New Zealand, and had quite a number of seasons here at the Leeds club, still in the city. Kenny Sterling, 40 minutes gone. On our watch, of course, we don't always agree with the referee's watch. Always to our astonishment, of course. Whether it's hardly time to do much with it. But of course there is some injury time. Millwall, the last chance before the interval. The referee has nodded to the test judge, who's told him time's up. And a nice move worked. Plenty of tackles and getting a bit of treatment. And the assembly of test judges in as Great Britain were on the attack. And Mr. Senior. And is a penalty in front of the post for Great Britain. So John Holmes should kick his second goal. John Greengrass was penalised. David Jeans was in the incident. So John Holmes should kick his second goal. He's kicked one. Nobody wants to give him the ball. And the working photographer has to get it. Third attempt. One go. And no doubt the half-time whistle will go. Kicking towards the scoreboard end, as you can well see. And he kicks it straight into the crowd. He gets 2 points for it. And the whistle goes for half-time to make the half. There's a kicker, John Holmes. 2 goals to make the half-time score. Great Britain 7, New Zealand 3. So can Roger Millward there, ready to restart, kick off to a successful conclusion for the third test, or are we going to see what has never happened before? New Zealand winning 3 tests in England. There's what they might call the clean sweep. Referee Dennis Brown looking round, all seems to be fit. Great Britain took the scrums 11-9, but there were 5 penalty scrums. And it's Millward for Great Britain. Great Britain on the right. Well taken. George Nichols, one of the new boys, taking his eye off the ball. And when you knock on, the idea is then to get the ball, even though it would be a scrum. You've got half a chance of getting possession. The Kiwis. Don't confuse them with the All Blacks. The All Blacks are, of course, the Rugby Union. The Kiwis are the Rugby League, although they are amateurs. Roy Christian, been a good captain on tour. Roy Fletcher Christian, great something or other, descendant of Christian of Milton on the Bounty. Halfway line. Going to use the wind. Ball back, which means that the ball went straight into touch. It didn't hit that inside that white line, so it's a scrum down on the where it was kicked from. I think that Tatana will kick. There he is, the big fella. I mean, when he kicks the ball, he'll kick for touch to get position. First scrum to Great Britain. Edwards. It's all right. Millwall taking over from Chris Hesketh. Clive Sullivan, who had a knock in the first half, but he's got his leg bandaged. David Jean having a strong game. Jean, there was some criticism of his selection, but he's having a good match. Strong. Bobby Irvin, who was in the ball. The ref and New Zealand have got it. Robin Orchard. He got that final try in the Salford match test that I anticipated. Henry Tatana kicking for touch, bounced the wrong way, but nevertheless idea was what I anticipated. John Atkinson, Bob McGuinn half stopped him. McGuinn, who had some stitch in his forehead, a couple or so. The Kiwis are really going into the tackling here, and the referee is, I think, possibly going to speak about Atkinson and Fisher. He's looking for numbers. He is indeed. Fisher is on the left, Atkinson is on the right. Just a little bit of needle coming in just before the first half ended, when John Holmes kicked his second penalty goal. Game wide open, at least as far as the score is concerned, 7 points to 3. And the referee is going to penalise Great Britain for Kenny Loxton putting the ball in his own forward feet. And I should think Tatana will kick a goal. He must do. There he is. That's the back view of the man who has, and that's the side view if you want it, who has kicked 46 goals. It's a matter of 35 yard out, fourth attempt. Will it be his first success? It is not his first success. And that was I thought the ball went back there, but Derek Edwards was adjudged to have sent it forward, and it's a restart, a drop out from under the post. Sterling, the man of many parts, the scrum half. And he's lost the ball, and he's lost the ball. They're all dropping it. Nobody must like it. Clive Sullivan, Great Britain possession. I'm sure the new boy, how well got rid of, as it were. The time when to get rid of it. Kenny Loxton. Millwall kicking, not going to run to touch. Now with Jonathan Whittaker about. Good attacking fullback, Whittaker. Woolard. Five minutes gone, second half. Great Britain still leading, 7 points to 3. And if only for the pride or the prestige of the situation, they would want to keep it this way. The crowd appealing for scientific obstruction, running in front of the man there. Ball just reaches and gets in. Pat Tatana. Like most touring teams, they have nicknames for the players. Big John Greengrass is called Moose, and Tony Triletich is called Fats, and so on and so on. Whittaker. Woolard, Gary Woolard. Oh, he must be forward. No, he's not getting it anyway. Morris Drayton. The crowd are not very happy about some of the things that are happening at the moment. Robin Orchard's running well. He seems to... he's playing the ball forward quickly, getting his pass in. Well taken, Loxton. Not offside, but it was from a pass. But Great Britain hemmed in their own half. Chris Hesketh, dummy half, how's the man ready to take the ball? George Nichols, who was trying to turn it inside there. Just been noticing Krilitic, the last man down. He seems to just a little bit worried about something. I've been checking up, and I think he might have got a slight concussion because apparently he had a bit of double vision. He'll probably play himself out of it. Just inside the Great Britain half. That's the second time. Crowd not happy about the feeding of the scrum. Certainly never retired. Crowd really booing now on this one. And another somebody out on the halfway line. Chris Hesketh. Got it at the back of his neck. We'll have a look at this one, how it happened. Oh, there it was. That was real enough for a Burton, wasn't it? And there he is, halfway line. Well, it's happened at the moment. Great Britain haven't had to well, neither side had to introduce a sub. I did explain the first time, in case you weren't listening, that it once the sub's on, first man can't come back again. And of course, if you notice, no drop goal match, because you only get 1 point in test. So I won't confuse you with it anymore. Roger Millward. Bob Irving, there's a chance there, the Clive Sullivan, can he get it? He got it, but not what he expected. Turned inside to Bob Irving. See the best bit of Great Britain until he had the ball pinched from them. And they were coming on to the positive point of attack. Fletch, as he's called by his mates, Christian. Some points to 3. Great Britain with the 2 Holmes goals making the difference. Well taken, little Derek Edwards from Cathay, but he loves to run. It might be... well, he probably was wise to do that. The reception committee that was waiting for him. Crowd now getting a little bit worried about this, or hostile about it, whichever interpretation there is. Mike Harrison, Hamshaw, missing the chances. John Whittaker, the runner. Bob McGuinn. 25-yard line, and the black-shirted Kiwis are still chasing that 7 points to 3 deficit with 10 minutes gone. And the guy trying to use the wind and to put the play down to Edwards, but Edwards will field and he'll run. Having a lot of hard work to do is a little very crazy, but Loxton's working hard too. Well, they all are. Good run by Jeans. Jeans excelling himself today. I'm sure the new cap. John Holmes in his first test before his own crowd. Millward, a nice one. I'm sure. Not a good one. These final passes are causing a bit of problem. Sterling, which I've talked about so much, how he gets over, covers this ground, I don't suppose he'll ever know. But he does. And Great Britain putting on pressure now onto Maurice Brereton. Not keeping possession as long as they might, but... Oh, well taken, John Holmes. Christian caught him, but it's very well taken. Running chance for Hesker. In touch. So there are signs that Great Britain are beginning to feel that they've got a bit of something that they can pile on and get the finishing touch to it. They're leading some points to 3 at the moment. Loxton looking around to see they'll plan some move. They usually call it by names. He's perhaps a little scrum happy, this fellow, Sterling. What when he puts the ball in, which way he faces the back? I'm going to try and bring him into touch. Thing is, drop down and don't go in as he did. Irving, number 11. The Kiwis are very keen to do this 3 on a trot test matches. Just to be a little bit worried at the moment, but they've got such a lot of inspiration in their backs when Whittaker comes running up and Centre Williams. And of course it's only 1 try and 1 goal to make 5 points. Good tackle, Hesker. 40 minutes since we had the try, or a try. It's inside. Won't go down to tackle. The good thing about the New Zealand players, they try to get out of tackle and get the pass in. In that case, it was Gary Woolard. Sterling. Inside to fullback Whittaker. He's the danger boy. Good fullback. The sort of stuff that they come into. And changing position. Dennis Williams, 18-year-old on this tour. And all these players will have benefited considerably by playing in England. Fisher's taken the last 4 scrums. Hasn't got that one. It happened in the test matches before that after Great Britain's scrum success in the first half, the Kiwis took it in the second half. Bottom now gone, second half, 25 yards line, score 7 points to 3. Still a lot of tackling being done by both teams. Then a kick against the wind. Bob McGuinn inside, just inside the Kiwis are. Gary Smith, halfway line. 7 points to 3. Britain leading. Robin Orchard, the strong one, pushes him off. Won't be tackled. Gary Woolard. Krilitic back in the game effectively. Sterling, the worker. And the fourth tackle. Escath out of one tackle. This is a chance here of going in. The Sullivan has got out here. Oh, it's been closed it. Millwall closed it. Good tackle by Krilitic, must give him credit. But there was a chance for the winger. Sullivan had he got away, John Holmes. Derek Edwards, can he go inside or outside? Atkins, what a beautiful try! What a gem! What a gem of a movement from the when he started very early on, and Millwall started it, and then, well, this was from the play the ball. Holmes did a good job here, so did Edwards. Then Atkinson, with it, half a chance, went in. What a good try. Well worth waiting for Atkinson's second. Back into his international position, John Atkinson, his home crowd cheering him on, and I saw Roger Millward being a bit knocked up, but he seems to be all right. Krilitic, the man that I was talking about, I saw him just wandering a little bit, and I felt that he had something wrong with him. As Krilitic walked off, doesn't mean to say that he's stopping off, but I should think he might be, and I should think that Murray Eade might come on. He's been a bit dicky. As he kicks the goal, he misses it. If you know what I mean. So, 18 minutes gone. Great Britain 10 points, New Zealand 3. And on comes Murray Eade with a sweatband round his head. Holmes, 25-yard line. Should give Great Britain a bit of confidence. A number of new caps in. Some of the regular names that we've seen in the past. 2 tests and previous tests are not now in, of course. Right, it was a bit of an awkward kick with that. I thought he was going to get charged. Roger Millward was appealing for... He couldn't have been feeling for offside, really. I think it was a feeling for him being pushed. Eade goes into the pack as loose forward. Big lad, another big fellas are these New Zealanders. They're, I should think, possibly a stone heavier per man average. With no football, but there's one come off from the other side. With 2 now. And as they used to say in Batley, well, they can have 1 each. So the ball's being put in. Great Britain 10, New Zealand 3, and it's the second half. And it's 20 minutes to go. Can Great Britain kill this chance of New Zealand taking 3 tests? Go to France on Monday. The Kiwis for a short tour, be home in time for Christmas. John Holmes, the kicker. In touch, a good kick that against the wind. Now the Leicester are willing their side to do something, turning it inside. Oh, it didn't come up, didn't that? But David Jeans recovered it. Not a knock on, he caught it before he was dropped. Mike Harrison. Tony Loxton was also a selection that didn't receive universal support, but he's done very well as the lad. And that was a bit of all sorts, a bit of a knock-on, a bit of an offside, a bit of a something, but no doubt advantage. Great Britain right. Amshaw looking for some inside. Nobody could get there in time. The line was open. Aurelius going to be thrown over in a minute. The New Zealand post. Going to have a drop. Holmes is having a drop and it's a goal. 1 point only. Don't let's count wrongly. That is an unusual situation for this 11. There's John Holmes. He's kicked Atkinson. It's a bit of a lead story at the moment. It's scoring wise, but it's a team effort with one or two of the new boys really showing possibilities of future and certainly consideration for later honours against France. Kiwis are not going to take anything lying down unless it's a Great Britain player, and we're going to be in at everything now for this last quarter of an hour or so. Hampshire, who's improved in this last half hour in his confidence. Oh, I wouldn't say that was supporting my theory, but he's entitled to one mistake. Who's hurt? I think it's Millward. Millward was hurt in that effort when it was tackled on the far side. When he came back inside, he got a hard tackle and he was really knocked about, and he's not been quite right since. Just our subs, Great Britain subs, are Dennis O'Neill and Phil Lowe, and New Zealand, of course, have used one of their subs, Murray Eade. And is he going out? Looks as if he's going off. And it looks as if Dennis O'Neill on the touchline is coming. No, he's not coming on yet. Millward, not sure. On the touchline is Dennis O'Neill. I don't know whether he's coming off on or not. He is coming on, but you remember in the other test somebody came off on and then went off. Well, the captain goes off and on comes Dennis O'Neill, a good runner, a bright runner. You've seen him floodlit match, and he's a witness out half. And touching the ball for the first time, Dennis O'Neill. So Widnesians will be interested in this situation. I'm sure there's a lot of them, and he's lost the string round his pants. Pushing back for John Holmes. Bob McGuinn. Whittaker, Great Britain not out of the wood yet by any means. 2 tries, 2 goals could make the margin go the other way, and it's quarter of an hour only to go in the second half of this final test. Roger Millward being taken the touchline, being helped off, and looked very well. Somebody got swung out of that pack. The Kiwis are still playing with a chance in, as they feel, quite rightly so. Too quick, trying to go quickly will give them a lot of confidence. Still running strongly. Whittaker up. Extra man. Must be a knock-on. advantage. Mike Harrison. Oh, this is a chance for a runner here. Bob Irving. Bob Irving can run, probably not fast enough, but at least he's got out of a bit of trouble there. Sort of thing that gives a team confidence. The Kiwis coming slowly back. And Dennis O'Neill dropped it. Dennis O'Neill, whose virtue is able to run, dropped it. Kenny Sterling is a right little getting at it, lad. Millward, incidentally, is now disappearing into the dressing room. He's got a bad knock on the top of his rib cage, badly bruised, and there's a penalty for New Zealand for not packing with his arm round his prop forwards, he being Tony Cornelius. 11 points to 3. Can Britain hold out in this third test? The Kiwis have obviously got a tenseness about themselves. They're so keen to win that they're coming up very quickly onto everything. The St. Michael's Lane Church looks down on this last match of the 71 New Zealand tour. Eade, the serve, McGinn, ball lost. Leeds fans won't have seen a lot of O'Neill except on television, and they know that he can run if he gets in the clear. Incidentally, Tuesday's rugby night match, Floodlit, BBC 2, is Lee and St. Helens. Should be a cracker. We've got some crackers in that competition this season. Hamshaw, number 13, is feeling his mouth. I don't know whether he got a clout on it. The lights of the Leeds Taverners Club in the back. Did well, did Loxton there. Atkinson. Holmes. Holmes comes off his right foot very well. Plays full back. Bit of support here. Where's Dennis O'Neill? He's the fellow that was needed there, but he hadn't come up, and George Nichols, his fellow Whitneyson, got a knock. Cornelius. Well, it's all go now. And it'll all go to the end, whichever way it goes. Hamshaw's managed to get out of one, a nice dummy. But he's gone into touch with it. Yards out from the New Zealand line, and we've got 10 minutes left to play. With 11 points to 7, 11 points to 3 the score. Eade, Murray Eade. Well, the Kiwis still going strongly. Still dangerous. Still time to save this. But there's a spirit by Great Britain now that's encouraging. Coming up on the burst, the big Robin Orchard. He buffets himself in and out of tackles. Straight through. That's an unusual sight. Must have been having a little natter. The tunnel's clear at the moment. Loxton. The feed. See what's happening. Kiwis, when they're not getting the ball, they collapse in the pack and getting another strike at it. fairly even scrums. Dennis O'Neill. Loxton, good service, good pass. Holmes. Nice one to Escott. Nice one to Escott. Good tackle by New Zealand. Very much tackling. Clive Sullivan is beaten free. 10 yards out. Tried for Great Britain, would be heartily received by the team, I'm sure. Dummy in on the fourth tackle. Probably just a bit of inexperience there in big football. Probably had forgotten for the second that it was the fourth tackle coming up. As the darkness comes at Headingley. The Kiwis down 11 points to 3. Chance at all times. Now a good take by Clive Sullivan on John Whittaker. Very good take. "15 yards out." Well, you can see the try line, so you know how far that is. It's in the types, these two scrum half. Look, called Ken, but refugees. Taking two to tackle him, so that takes a bit of strength out of the bloke who's doing the tackle. Orchard on Greengrass. Aurelius. Another drop. Another drop, and this is unusual, but it counts 1 point. And his injured was John Holmes after that. John Holmes getting his second drop goal for 1 point. History in football today, because this is the first time, so far as Great Britain are concerned, that drop goals making 1 point. Great Britain 12, New Zealand 3. And Robin Orchard is getting attention on the left. I think it's his hand, actually. Frank Tobin. Oh goodness. I actually think he'll have double interest now, will Frank Tobin, the physio, because he's looking after the New Zealand team, and two of his own players, Nicholson and O'Neill, are playing on the other side. So loyalties will be torn, no doubt. Roy Christian and Orchard have no torn loyalties. 12 points to 3. Holmes, who can feel very happy with his Test debut. After he's got a kick in, his general play has improved as the game has gone on. This lad runs well, doesn't he? John Whittaker. John Greengrass, known to his teammates as Moose. Henry Tatana, known as Pat. Well, we're coming into the last 5 minutes of this third test, final test. The last time you're going to see the New Zealanders on this tour. Great Britain 12, New Zealand 3. Referee Dennis Brown saying which way to go. Hesketh did well there to get that ball. Oh, away goes Sullivan! There's one man to beat. He's beaten him, but a good cover by Dennis Williams, but the position's there. Get it played quickly. Well, that was a good run by Clive Sullivan. It was a good cover tackle by Williams. a good footballer this boy's going to be. He's a long one. Can't get it in. Can't George Nichols. But the field's open on this side. Is the way to come. Oh, it was a forward pass. It was a bit of a tired out effort, was that somehow. It didn't seem to come off. Well, that was the penalty. Penalty for forward trouble. Whether it was feet up, whether it was hooking, striking with the wrong foot or not, we'll leave it. Henry Tatana kicking, and now just looking on the New Zealand side as if they're thinking that this is it. Just lost that little bit of sprightliness that they had. Tatana. Great Britain's well, no, all they've got to do is to tackle every time, make sure, and they've not been done the clean sweep of 3 tests. New Zealand take the series after a very good tour. They'll benefit considerably by it. Eid when they get back to their own season next year. Gary Woolard. Where's... I was trying to say, where's Derek Edwards? Now willing him on. See where he was. Inside the Great Britain 25-yard line. The last tackle for the 4th tackle, Loxton, put it back to John Holmes. Well taken, Whittaker. Long striding boy, Bob McGinn. He looks like he's going right in the crowd. He is. £12 points to 3, just reminding you of the score. One minute left. On our watch. Well, with the late kick-off and, of course, the hour back business, we've got a lot of gathering gloom here at Headingley on the Skye, but not in the British camp. And the white of Great Britain shining in this quite a bit of darkness around. The lights on after this match for the going home spectators. Well taken, Whittaker. A lot of admiration for this boy, good football. So for the captain, Roy Christian. Well taken, Dennis Neal. Maurice Brayton still going. Maurice Brayton is still going for the corner. Tatana. 40 minutes up. The intercept, oh, it should have been, but it wasn't. It's an advantage. Christian, ball lost. Oh, they both left it. Cornelius got himself in the way of Atkinson. So it's Kiwis in with a chance again in the last minute in injury time. In the at this point of time in the 3-match series, Great Britain have scored 39 points against New Zealand 38 points. So how close it's been with the test judges in. Referee's giving the scrum. Possibly the final scrum. But you never know. In our past experience. New Zealand possession. A good move, Mareed. Big tall boy, coming as a sub. referee doesn't seem to have looked at his watch yet, but Fisher, the hooker, wasn't sure which way to go, so he decided to go the shortest, turn around and run straight. Kiwi still attacking, still willing to move the ball about brightly. John Greengrass still playing good open rugby, and there goes the whistle for time, with Great Britain preventing the New Zealanders doing the 3-test match win, and so take the third test by 12 points to New Zealand 3.